So, have you guys ever had those days where you feel like every small inconvenience turns out to feel like a really big inconvenience? When it seems like even the smallest problems are just too much to handle? It reminds me of a meme I seen on Facebook, and it was this guy, and whatever happened, he had some kind of problem that was nagging him, and it was a seemingly small problem, right? But the bottom image is him holding on to a noose, getting ready to hang himself. And I said, how disturbingly accurate that image is, that meme is, because it is so true to life for so many of us. When life throws severe suffering at you, I mean, real, legitimate suffering, and it does it continuously for years at a time. I'm not talking about bad days. I'm talking about bad fucking years at a time, successively. And when you have to deal with the constant roll of shit that just burrows toward you from life, at that point, something snaps where even the smallest things, even the smallest inconveniences are enough to give you panic. They're enough to give you anxiety because you're always thinking in the back of your head, oh shit, what is life about to do to me now? You know, what is life going to torture me with now? What is life going to uh, hurt me with now? And so many people just don't comprehend that. Even for myself, um, getting pieces of mail, even opening up mail with my name on it, is enough to give me an anxiety attack. Answering certain phone calls, going certain places, the panic sets in because when you take so much abuse from life, you just know that something else is around the corner. And there's this constant weight on your shoulder that feels like at any moment life is going to fuck you up again after it just got done fucking you up previously. When people see me, I think they have this misconception that I'm just this jolly guy, this jolly happy guy. They might think that I'm charismatic. They might think that I'm a good speaker, and all of these things that they might think of me. People always compliment me because I seem to smile every day. And I've had people even tell me that I'm such a positive person. I'm such a happy go person. And every time someone says that to me, I just think to myself, God, how I wish that was true. How I fucking wish that was true. You know, um, to know me as a person is to know a man who has suffered and has had real suffering, legitimate pain, constantly. To know me is to know a man whose whole life can be defined with the word misery, sorrow, agony, grief, torment. When I tell you that there is no point in my life that I would love to go back to, there isn't. There is nothing in life that makes me happy. Nothing. I've never been a happy person. Never. When I was old enough to comprehend the shit that I was born into, it completely changed me. I've always had a hard way to go, even in childhood, from traumatic things to dealing with bullying to dealing with all sorts of horrible shit that happens. And it seems like from my childhood until now, life has been raping me, like just fucking me over with nonstop suffering, nonstop suffering. And most days I'm able to just be numb to it. I've gotten to the point where a lot of times I don't even express how I feel to people because, what can they possibly do for me? People tend to offer accolades or cliches, inspirational quotes that they think might help you. And to me, it's all just words. It's just blank. Um, and it's just every little thing, seemingly little thing, can turn to something much bigger just because of how horrendous life is. Because when you're afraid of the torture, when you're afraid of the pain, when you're afraid of the suffering that life constantly throws at you, you don't have time to really distinguish between minor threats versus larger threats. To you, a threat is just a threat. You're in this constant state of looking over your shoulder almost. It feels like there is somebody haunting you 24/7, waiting to do you in good. That's what it feels like for me. Every single day, there is this constant nagging thought of, oh shit, what is life going to fucking do to me now? And I hate it so bad. I hate it so bad. I just, it's the most miserable thing to have to live in a life like this, a world like this, where you know the shitstorm is around the corner, even though you've already been through 1,000 of them already. Like, what the fuck? Can I get a break? Please? Please? And to people who haven't really gone through anything, to people who've had a relatively tame life, who haven't had to deal with loss, who haven't had to feel and witness genuine suffering, the death of loved ones, the suffering of loved ones, and or just horrendous mental agony in general, all of this sounds like complaining to them. Because life hasn't kicked them in their stupid asses yet. It hasn't kicked them to the point where they know how low the bottom feels, right? That's why they can look at me and call me a complainer, or say that I'm a loser, or say that, I'm a quitter. I gave up. But you know what? Yeah, I did give up. Because I didn't fucking ask for this to begin with. I'm not competing. I'm not in this race trying to win anything. Life has shown me from my very childhood what it is. I've had traumatic things happen to me like everybody else. I've had bullying. I've had all sorts of horrendous things that happen at a young age. And it seems like from my childhood until now, it's just been straight misery. It's just been years of bad. And that's what gets me when people tell me, oh, look at the good days. Fuck the good days. They don't do anything for me. What are good days when you've had bad fucking years in successive order to each other, I mean, there are some times where I don't even get enough sleep because I'm always thinking about what's going to happen next. I'm always on my tippy toes, trying to worry about what life is going to do. And it's haunting. It's suffering to live like this. And when somebody calls me weak, or when somebody calls people like me weak, it strikes the most angry flame that I can muster. It strikes this mounting hatred in me that causes me to hate humans even more than I already do. Or at least the people who just are so fucking ignorant that they don't even want to understand it. How can you call somebody weak who has lived a life of entire suffering, lived a life of hell, and still every single day has the courage to face another day, even though they know that more bullshit is around the corner, even though they know that there is more suffering that's going to be had around the corner? It takes strength, it takes courage to wake up every day knowing what you know about life and still maintaining some kind of sanity about yourself and still being able to do things and still being able to speak and express yourself and still be able to hold it together. That takes a strength that so many of these fucking assholes don't have and they never will have in their entire lives because they haven't had life kick them in the fucking ass yet. It's horrible what we've been thrown into, is the best that I can sum it up. We have been condemned to a fate that I think is worse than death. Death isn't even a threat to me. Death is a relief. Death was never seen by me as an adversary. It was always a companion that was taking its sweet time to get to me. But life is a fucking waking nightmare. Every day is torment. And of course, you get people who they try to tell me that my problem is that I need to pray more, that I need to get back to church, that I need to talk to God more, right? And I don't even have the strength to even to make a rebuttal against that kind of thing anymore because it's just too fucking stupid. Anybody who's known me in my life has known that I've been feeling this way since I was a child. It's not an exaggeration. Even when I was a Christian, I struggled with this massive depression. Even when I was a Christian, I struggled to the real philosophical questions about why this is happening. Why are we having to suffer this way? Where is God? Where is a good, omnipotent, loving God, but allows even his own followers to endure lives of pure misery? I prayed just as much as anybody else prayed. I read my Bible just as much as anybody else read their Bible. I did everything that the Christian was supposed to do, and still I had to face the reality of life. It's not about God. It's not about prayer. It's about dealing with the reality of life. And for me at this stage, it's getting to be too much. It's too much. There are days where I just feel like I'm going to lose my shit any moment and just completely go fucking insane.